you started out at Newsweek, and then I know you jumped on the Wall Street Journal. You were at the New York Times, Forbes. What sort of things did you learn there that sort of built you into the journalist that you are now? Or what might have been those like initial, maybe even mistakes or things that you did right that you doubled down on as you started building Unchained that were forged in those early years and early experiences?
Oh, wow. That is such a good question. Let's see. Well, interestingly, I mean, yeah, because this was so long ago. I am at a phase now of my life where I can look back and I can see trends like over a very long period. And hilariously, because like you actually need time to be able to see this, one thing that I realized is I do have a knack for like seeing things early, but it can sometimes take like a decade or more to be validated. So like, the crypto thing, I thankfully panned out earlier rather than, later, but just like, this is such a small example, but hilariously, there was this article in the New York Times Magazine about degrowth or like steady state economics. I literally pitched this exact idea to New York Magazine in 2012. I was like, oh, it's just 12 years too early. So anyway, but the point is, all I'm trying to say is that, another thing is that guy Caleb on Instagram who goes into people's apartments and like gives tours in the apartments. I did that at the New York Times. I created a column called Apartment Envy, and it was the first thing that was like web only, and it was we were doing the first like videos online and the first like, they must not have been the first slideshows, but anyway, but I remember that we met with the newspaper real estate editor and to present, what I'd been doing. And after the end of the meeting, hopefully nobody will figure out who this is because I myself don't remember who it is, but he very pompously declared that he didn't see anything of value for the paper. And now that I've seen how Caleb has like millions of followers, watching his tours, I'm like, I knew that was a thing. I knew I was right about that. But in terms of, what I've learned from all that to till now, wow. It's hard to say because those lessons were so long ago. But I do think part of, what I am remembering that I learned from that is like what I just talked about, the agility of a small team, which I'm now applying more to our operations. But in terms of like the actual journalism that I do, I actually feel like my experience at Forbes, which was more recent, is more useful. My two editors there, Janet Novak and Matt Schifrin, they are amazing. And I really learned so much from them. And when you stay up until, like 1 or 2 a.m. to do a big magazine close, like a cover story, you learn a lot in those hours as you're falling asleep trying to, make sure that every little fact and detail is correct. But yeah, I guess the lessons there are more about like, the balance between accuracy and readability, or like what you need to really verify something, or, when you're going to write something negative about somebody, like just all the little, ways you have to cross your T's and dot your I's to make sure you are giving them a fair chance to respond and tell their side of the story before you publish. Just all those like little things that just like help make sure that you're giving a good foundation to what you're publishing. So those are like lessons that I distinctly remember from Forbes, but honestly, the other places I worked for so long ago that I can't remember really what I learned from there.
I'm sure they're still around somewhere operating in the background.
Yes. Yeah.